like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind.
This segment is, of course, sponsored by Debonaire Cigars. Visit stogiegeeks.com/Debonaire for a list of retailers who carry Debonaire. Buy some today and get a little more Debonaire. Speaking of Debonaire Cigars, with us in studios, none other than Phil Zanghi joins us for the Debonaire Ideal segment. So nice to have you here in studio,
evening,
Phil.
everyone.
Mr.
Thank
Stogie Santa is sitting in with us as well for this segment, which I'm so excited about. There's no way I'm going to be able to keep time on this. I want to ask you, Phil, your commercial.
Yes, sir.
What did you have? Like, I'm thinking about like your Phil Zanghi, and you're like, I need a commercial, and you had a vision, and you had to communicate that vision to someone who created that commercial. Like, what was that process like? I'm just curious.
You know, I had a publicist I used in California, and I wanted something slick that appeals to both sexes. That had it like a kind of like it was going to be quick, but built up. Basically, was in the end, if you really look at that many times, it's the cigar is like the girl hooked up with the cigar. It's not the guy. It's in the end, she's by herself and she's smoking the cigar. So she actually hooked up with the cigar.
Yeah, she's like, give me that. I want to smoke this myself.
That's
kind
it.
of thing.
Like,
Yeah,
beat it,
yeah.
and that's what she didn't hook the like. She got the guy to give the box. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was real clean lines. And the Windmills of My Mind. It was from Thomas Crown Affair. You know, the original one with Steve McQueen. And it just epitomized like kind of the old world mixed with the new world. And I just wanted something slick that was quick and just looked really arty.
Yeah.
It looked more Vogue than it did any. I haven't seen anything like that in the cigar world. That was like it's like a mini movie kind of thing.
I
hope it came out that way.
Well, whoever did that for you did a nice job
did a
because they
great
really
job.
took
Oh,
I think took your vision
Yeah.
right and really brought
I
it
like
to
the
life.
last part when just the Debonaire comes up.
It's very nicely done. It's very
It's
nicely
clean.
done.
It's like an old movie. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for that.
So Will's, of course, here with us, and I want to talk about, before we get into our segment about, actually, I'm going to do, well, maybe we'll do both. I'm going to do when not to smell like cigars.
Okay.
Because I thought that was kind of a Debonaire segment. But I also want to talk about when to ash and when not to ash.
Okay.
So I want to kind of do, since Phil's here, I'm going to do a double topic of
There you
Debonaire
go.
Ideal.
I love it.
So you're obviously here in the studio, and then you're going north.
Going to New Hampshire, yes,
Going
sir.
north to New Hampshire, going to Two Guys Smoke Shop.
Yep.
And then you're heading down to Connecticut.
Yes.
And where are you going in Connecticut?
Hartford area. I'm going to see some growers and just some actual leaf business.
Okay.
And maybe
So
visit
I
some
thought you were
shops.
stopping at a shop. Or
I'll probably will. I'll probably
Okay.
stop at the Hartford shop. I'll probably stop at up in Smoke. A couple places. I'll go visit some people. I have no plan for down there. I'm just going to go
you're
visit.
Just going to go visit.
And I'll
Okay.
go see Twins up
Yep.
there in New Hampshire, probably Castro's back room. I'll go see my guys up there and see what's going on.
And you just came off kind of an epic trip to Texas.
Yeah, Texas has been Jean-Michel. I can attest to Jean-Michel, what he just said. Great guy, number one. Thank you, everyone, for supporting Saga. Thank you for supporting the factory we work in. Thank you to the Reyes family for supporting us and giving us such a great venue to work in and help us be able to produce such great cigars. I'm humbled to how much they've helped us from Leo, from Don Emilio, from Augusto Reyes, from Nerca. All of them help us so much. Saying that Texas is, I hate to say it, guys. I love the Northeast with all my heart, but Texas is doing something special down there. Yeah.
It's some pretty epic shit.
It's
Will
something,
was
yeah.
stuck in Texas. Like,
Yeah.
weather got him
That's
stuck
not a
in.
bad- that's not a
and
bad
he's like,
thing.
I'm just going to go visit cigar shops. And he's like, Paul, these shops are absolutely unbelievable.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, up here in the Northeast, you guys have it hard with the taxes and a lot of the things.
Yes.
Down there, they're kind of, it's really fit for the cigar smoker.
Yeah.
People are more open to cigar smoking in general.
Down
Just-
there, they have tax-free days on your guns.
Yeah, they
in
got
Texas.
it's amazing.
Like
place.
few,
I mean,
very
you're looking
few
at
other states
Houston,
do
you got
that.
Stogie's in Houston. You got Serious Cigars in Houston too. I mean, the guy at Stogie's is probably the finest cigar store owner there is. He's more of
Great
like
guy.
a concierge at like a 5-star hotel. The guy treats you like it's amazing. Sirius is an amazing outfit. They do a lot of business there. It's just a gigantic. Anything you could ever think of in cigars. Then you work your way up into San Antonio, and you got Club Humidor. That's amazing. You got Finks. That's great people. Old school stuff. Austin, they got some good stores. Then you get to Dallas, which is like you got from the UG, which is the whole fringe element of the industry. That's like the Island of Misfit Toys, but these guys loving it. And then you got Blue Smoke, great. Michaels and Euless, incredible. I mean, it's just an incredible experience. I mean, you can go to every day to a different store, in a week. I mean, there's so many, and there's all over the place. Then you got McGregor, Texas, the Tobacco Junction, which is like by Fort Hood, which is an anomaly in itself because it's in the middle of nowhere. And it's just amazing. Largest lounge in Texas, and that's saying something. And it's great people. I don't know. I could talk a lot about it. I'm just happy they've really taken to the Debonaire ideal like the Northeasterners have. And I see a lot of similarities in just the camaraderie. And the enjoyment of smoking and all that stuff.
So I want to talk about when not to smell like cigars, and then I want to transition into ashing on yourself kind of thing.
When not to, or how
when
not to?
So here's the thing: when my first son was born on a Thursday after I got finished recording my security show. This was before Stogie Geeks, right?
Okay.
So he waited until I was done recording. My second son, he was born after we got finished recording Stogie Geeks. So I recorded Security Weekly, recorded Stogie Geeks. Wife went into labor. And I stunk like cigars going to the hospital. And let me tell you, that is not the place you want to go in smelling like cigars.
Now, that's kind of a key place.
Today, I went with my wife to a doctor's appointment. Infer with that what you will. Happy to meet OB appointment.
He's breaking
right?
up the,
yeah.
Is that Febreze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I had a cigar in the morning, and the appointment was like 11 o'clock. And I get in the car, and I took some shit for smelling. She's like, we're going into an office where there's pregnant ladies with a heightened sense of smell, and you reek like cigars. So that kind of was the fuel for this.
Yeah, mine was.
And your wife works in the medical field.
Same thing. Mine was my insurance agent getting my life insurance.
Why you gotta have this in the car?
Do you smoke?
Do you smoke? I said no. He looked at me. He's like, well,
that's a good one.
And so
No, it's not me.
I don't. There are some times and places.
Yeah, hospitals definitely.
Yeah.
And, well, also Mark Jr. used to talk about, he works in sales, and he would go on sales calls and meet with people, and he's like, a lot of times. I don't want to smell like cigars when I go into someone's, especially they have a small office, and he's smoking in the car, which is, we all know as cigar smokers, like you reek really bad when you smoke in the car. And I didn't want to go in the office and smelling like smoke. So a lot of times, that's why he did some vaping stuff, because he's like, I want to kind of smoke and air coat something, but I don't want to smell like it too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you hit the two key ones. I mean, going to like a school recital too.
yeah,
schools
are
school recitals or weddings are okay. Who cares?
Weddings. I think embody the environment.
I don't think anyone really is thinking about that at that point.
No, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
It's the furthest thing from their mind.
I can't really think of any other.
No, I don't anything worthwhile, but
hospitals, because my daughter was just sick, and I would go down and smoke and walk around the lake in front of the hospital, and they give you the stink eye.
They do.
You
Yeah,
can't even smoke on the premises, not inside the
No, yeah,
not even on the premises.
I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I did. I went inside my car.
Because your son had injury.
Whatever. Guys, on my window, you can't smoke in here.
You just wait.
I said, I'm not smoking out there. I'm smoking in here.
Right. This is my own private property.
Exactly.
Right.
So okay, whatever.
Whatever. Peace.
All right, just let me go.
Right.
I can't think of really another one.
No, that's about it.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
In general, when I'm in the corporate job, I just will not have a cigar before I go into a meeting. And I just, because the reason is I want to obviously keep the two separate. But like I was saying, I keep Febreze in my car.
And you Febreze yourself or your car? Or
I
both?
Febreze myself.
Febreze yourself.
I spray down my clothes. And
you gotta get that, and not only that, not only cigar smoke, cigar breath.
Yes.
Cigar breath.
That's another one.
When I'm going to the kids' school or something like that, I don't want to smell cigars.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that in the corporate environment. When
I'm telling you.
when I interviewed for the position I'm at now, it's an internal. I moved, changed jobs within my company that I work for, and I was actually having a cigar in the morning. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was waiting for one of my friends to pick me up who works for my company in Columbia, Maryland. We drove into the office, and I had a cigar before I went into the office.
Right.
Now, I kind of had an inkling that the person I was meeting with was totally fine with cigars, but I kind of had in the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, I must stink. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he really wants me on his team. He's not going to care.
Right.
You know? But now, it turns out that person made a cameo appearance on a couple of Stogie Geeks shows ago and was the only person, like, outside of the people that work in cigars that would keep pace with me. It was actually my boss, Matt, kept pace with me cigars the whole day. Like, it was like a 5-cigar day.
Oh, that was a great day.
Yeah, it was a great... he kept pace with me the whole day. So, in that case, it turned out good, Will, but you're right. Sometimes in a corporate setting, it might not be the right
I
right
never
time
ever
place.
have to worry about that.
Yeah, if you work in
Ever.
the cigar industry...
Never.
No, but
Yeah.
I agree with Coop. That's one of the key ones
Yeah.
when the job I used to have is going into a meeting and, you know, you got all the, you know, the underwear's a little tight, you know. And,
Yeah. Little, yeah.
oh,
It was
yeah.
funny. There was a bunch of people at the hotel I was staying at that morning, and they must have been studying for some kind of test in, I think it was the pharmaceutical industry or something. And you could tell they were all there to, like, do training and take a test, and it was test morning. And I'm puffing a cigar in the morning, and they're walking like, who's smoking a cigar? And they look over, I'm like, good morning, guys. They're like, oh, good morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong with that? That's
that's not-
yeah.
Don't get over
Anyway.
it.
God bless everyone.
Anyway.
Ashing on yourself.
Yeah, that's a continual problem. That's why I wear black shirts all the time.
I have this thing, and this kind of speaks to the debonair aspect of it. I hate it when people like ash and flick it like a cigarette.
Yeah.
For me, ash helps me cool the cigar down.
Exactly.
You know what I
I
mean?
try. Well,
Absolutely.
that's why
Yeah.
I'm always
It's a
ashing on
barrier,
myself.
yeah.
I
It's a
keep
buffer.
it there.
As long as it'll hold.
Yeah, as long as
exactly.
it'll hold. Exactly.
I don't try to, you know, sit there and, you know, go down. But it
No,
will
like
take care of
remember
itself.
Steve that used to be. He used
Yeah.
to like smoke them upside down
Yeah,
and see how
it's
long.
like, dude, I want
That's the other
Yeah.
extreme of that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's what is that happy medium? It's just letting it
I'd say-
fall wherever it. Is there a Spanish? Ben was telling me once there's like a Spanish phrase for letting the ash fall wherever it's going to fall.
You would
Deja
know.
caer la ceniza donde cae. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah. That's exact translation. Maybe I might probably be called that. I don't never heard that saying. But yeah. It's like let the dominoes fall the way. Yeah. Let the
Yeah,
dice
exactly.
roll. And, yeah.
Right.
But no, I mean that's why I wear black shirts all the time.
Yep.
You know, I always because they'll fall off. But yeah, I let it go an inch, you know, to get it really going good, 2 inches, and then if I go like this and you see it wobble a little bit, you just tap
Seal
it.
Oh, that's a good. That's a
Just
good
tap
tip.
it.
If you see
or
it
you
wobble,
can tap it, you know, tap it. If it doesn't fall off, you have
you
to
own
hold
it.
it
Keep
a little
right,
longer.
right,
Yeah,
right.
you know what I mean. The flicking thing, and some people continually messing with it, and nine so some guys they'll
Like
a lot of
rolling
guys,
it.
they'll flick it and then they'll roll it. And I mean, if it's got some remnants or it's not even or it's got some flake on it, you can do it. But I mean, if you tap it and then take a little finger tap, it's okay.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, I agree. I've ashed in my coffee, my lunch,
Falling and everything.
down my sleeve,
Yeah.
like the whole thing. I think it's just part of it.
And
Right?
of course
I mean,
it is.
It's just you got to.
I asked in my hair once.
When
How
you
does
have
that?
hair.
Wait,
I was in a
what was
long-
this? Was
that
this
when you were
30
10?
years ago, Will?
Yeah, well,
Smoking a 10?
Thank you.
I was in a long ash contest and I was like leaning back and the thing went into my head.
Yeah, on the melon. Yeah.
It burned a little, I can tell you that.
Burned a little.
The worst is when you're driving.
Yes.
You go to ash and the wind catches
Yeah.
it and it hits you in the face.
Yeah, that's a cat.
And you get the old eye sting, or or it goes behind you, and you're like, I don't know where that went.
Yeah, you got that burning smell?
Yeah, and you're like, and you go, do I pull over now because I'm like in a hurry, or do I let this thing just combust and it's gonna smell worse than cigars than when it's like plastic and upholstery's on fire, you know? I've had that so many times on the road.
Yeah.
It hits you in the eye, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Or you're right to get out of the car, and you're about to go in, and you're all nice and dressed, and all of a sudden it falls all over you.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, man.
Now the trick is not to take your
Why?
hand and mash it
yeah,
on
no,
your
no.
shirt,
No,
right?
the trick is you take it,
You
take
gotta brush
the
it.
second
Yeah.
button,
Second button.
and do a little bounce
Yeah,
bounce.
do it.
Oh, yeah,
that-
it's right there.
Yeah.
But you ever notice that, though, the shirt that once in a while that you burn is always the one that's the most special shirt?
Yeah.
It is.
You can't burn a shitty shirt. No, it's
No.
got to be the best
No.
one you like.
No, it's
Brother
got to be
Jeff.
the one like.
I've burned my suits before, man, and that's just crazy. And I'm a freak for the suits. And I burned one, and I took it to my tailor, and I go, what do you do? He goes, we can reweave it. I go, does that even exist?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, we can.
It's
And
like
he did
not
it.
cheap.
It took like he sent it away and he got it, and there was a string in it. And he goes, when you get it, just pull the string. And pull the string, and it was. I mean, I know it's there, but it's amazing what they did. But then there's some I burnt one it's burned all the way through the lapel.
Yeah,
And everything. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Well, my day job will send me those logoed shirts that are like the polyester cotton blend.
Oh.
Like, the Nike, like, athletic type shirts.
It burns and makes a hard hole.
Yeah. And it just melts. It just melts the shirt.
Next thing you know,
It's like crispy.
Yeah. Oh, you ever ash on yourself and you don't realize it, and then you're like, why does my leg hurt? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
You're like,
Well, in the car, and it's always when you're
It's
like
always
that,
in the
and it goes
car.
right, right in.
Yeah.
It's like you couldn't do that if you paid me $1 million every time. No, and it burns the seats. And, yeah.
Okay. No, we're gonna get. I want to hear the comparisons on the bellies with you and Coop.
Yeah, I'm looking.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Will, what do you want to do? You want to just talk about those now?
We'll talk about them now. Yeah, we can wrap
Is
it up.
Debonaire Ideal over?
The Debonaire.
Yeah, well, we were going to cut to Debonaire Ideal and go to our next guest, but you want to extend it for like 5 minutes, Will, and talk about our...
Let's talk about that. Yeah, we can talk about that. You want to go
ahead.
first or me?
Why don't you
All right.
go first?
So really, what I was talking about a little bit before Phil with the show is I've been a big fan of the Maduro. I think it was one of the best regular production lines, and I'm not just saying that. I really enjoyed it. It's a cigar that's gotten better and better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When I smoked the Belly this time around, the Belly more than anything it brought two realms together. It brought that Connecticut broadleaf sweetness that you can get on a cigar, and I felt that it did it really well. So if you like Connecticut broadleaf and everything that it's good about, you're going to get that. The other thing I got the au jus. The au jus was there. I mean, that was in my opinion. It was there, and it was probably there more so than the other sizes I had in the lines, where it came out very early on. So between those two things, I felt I got the best of both of those worlds there, and it just really works well in that tapered format. It just really, and the thing is, time's very kind to the cigar in your humidor.
Absolutely.
You put it in there, and it's going to be good.
Oh,
Will and I both smoked one that had the box date on the inside of the band that was about a year.
Yeah.
I agree with Will's sentiments that if you like broadleaf, I thought this cigar really embodied that all the wonderful things that broadleaf gives you in terms of flavor. I did get a little bit of that au jus flavor that Will talks about too. Just extremely smooth, very well burning. What I like about it too is, a lot of the cigars I smoke, I appreciate the different wrappers, like a Habano wrapper. And, you got to be careful when you take the band off it, and you got to be really kind of gentle with it, kind of thing. We talked about smoking in the car. It can be tough. With this Connecticut broadleaf, though, that wrapper is like you could take a hammer to it, and it would still smoke fine.
It's like top grain cowhide. Yeah, it's
exactly. But it gives you those very subtle and sweet kind of flavors. So
that's awesome. I mean, that's what we really tried to do with that blend. I wanted the broadleaf. I was a Pennsylvania broadleaf fan for a long time, but then I got turned on to the Connecticut. Really turned on to it, and by curing it the way we do with the forced sweating, the natural sweating, which they do normally, but I extend it, And working with Leo Reyes, he's like me a lot. We're very similar. He's outside of the box and stuff, and I saw that it not that it just turned it dark black and it got that really rich, deep, ebony color. It gave it to me, a real pectin raisin sweetness that added with the au jus. It's like, and some of them the au jus it's there, but it's not like in the Habano, because Habano adds that to me. I think the Habano adds that super au jus to it. It gives it that more meaty taste. The Habano's got its kick, and it does, and I go back and I flip flop, but. Something with the Bellicoso in the Maduro, like where'd you say that? It's like that line. That is my favorite one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it so much. I mean, it sounds corny, but I really thank you. I'm humbled.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It takes an ultra critical approach to each size.
Yeah.
Not just the belly, but each line sample in that. And we went down to that. I fell in love with that Bellicoso on both sides, and I'm not a Bellicoso fan.
You're like one of the first ones to smoke the Maduro.
Yeah.
You were.
Oh yeah.
You actually were. That's true. You were.
He did.
And you were a Bellicoso fan in the natural round.
Oh,
Yeah, he touted it.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That's why I bought it in the Maduro.
I'm telling you. He told me, he says, well, at the moment, it was a little on the side. I said, Phil, watch what this cigar's done, and it's done well. It's done well.
It's been blessed, and I just want to
Yeah.
thank everyone out there for the support you give us. Thank you very much for everything you do for Debonaire. Thank you for taking towards the ideal. I'm trying to just promote positive thinking and just being a good person and promoting cigar smoking in a way where we can all sit down and enjoy each other's time. And that's the ideal. It's this year's term is from, I said it last time, is from idea to ideal, And I think that people are taking towards it and that they're seeing that I'm really living this life and I'm trying to make this a vocation type of business, where this is what I want to do and all I want to do. It's not like this isn't a pastime. This is what I want to do. I want you guys to understand what I'm doing and enjoy what I've given you. And I think it's been happening.
And I realize Phil has a lot of skills, and I recognize a new one this week. If Phil's sitting there and there's traffic going by, based on the sound of the exhaust, he can tell you what kind of car it is.
That's
We were sitting there, and he was like, it wasn't even like a split second. He's like, that's a Mustang. Mm-hmm. And I'm like looking. I'm like, holy shit, he was right.
The Mustangs are
We need the whole. And there's nothing. It was awesome. We sat there outside smoking a cigar and just having Phil pick up the exhaust sounds and picking up the car.
That was a good time.
That's awesome.
That was a good time. I can
Thanks
talk
again.
forever, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No
No,
worries.
not at all.
Thank you very
No,
much,
no,
Phil.
thank you.
Wonderful
We
having you here in studio.
Thank you very much.
With that, we're going to take a short break, come back, and bring in our next guest. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.